Best in Blue.
Connecting you, the listener, to the everyday inner workings of the Memphis Police Department.
Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
You're listening to the Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network. I am DC, the host of this wonderful program. And on today's show, man, I tell you, we have got a barn burner for you. We've got a very, 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 very wonderful person coming in who happens to be newly appointed as a commander of the Crump Station Precinct, none other than Col Dana. She says Sampietro. I say Sampietro, and her name is Sampietro. And she manages our efforts in the Crump Station area, and the boundaries, y'all, are large. Believe it or not, we're talking about 55, including President's Island, all the way over toward South Memphis, back toward North Memphis, Smoky City, on down out east. This is a huge precinct. So she's going to come in and talk to us about the efforts that's underway and try to make sure that we protect and serve and we're keeping you safe and secure in the Crump Station Precinct as well as the entire city of Memphis. So stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Col Dana Sampietro of the Crump Station Precinct.
Best in Blue.
That means we go to the schools, we go to the churches, we do all types of programs to try to build the relationship between law enforcement and the community.
Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Hey, I'm Williams Brack, co-host of Grind Set. The insight you gain from us and our guests will motivate you to take the leap into entrepreneurship. Make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Hi, this is Officer Cassandra Leak with the Dare Great program for the Memphis Police Department, and you are listening to the Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
We're back with you here on the Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network. As promised, we've got Col Dana Sampietro. I'm going to call it Sampietro. She says Sampietro, of the Crump Station Precinct. She commands that precinct right here in Memphis, Tennessee, with the Memphis Police Department. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Colonel, we've been trying to get you in here for, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, even before you got promoted here this last time. So, but glad to have you here. Let's talk about your journey with the Memphis Police Department.
26 years now I've been on the department. Was born and raised right here in Memphis, Tennessee. I went to college, UT Martin, go Skyhawks, played volleyball there.
Is there a certain school called UT Martin still? Is that thing still open? I mean, I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
No. I'm going to leave you alone. Die hard Memphis Tiger, baby, right here.
Okay, me too. Go Tigers.
I got you.
You can't be a hometown girl and not be for the Tigers.
That's right. That's right.
So played college volleyball up there, and sports has always been a big part of my life. And I look at myself now in my role as the commander of Crump, not so much as a commander, but as a coach. Yeah. Teamwork is so important with the officers and with the citizens. So I started back in 1992. I did most of my early years out of the, what is now Old Allen Station, used to be the North Precinct. Yeah. From there, I was one of the first COAC officers, what is also known as community-oriented policing. Back in Lemoyne Owen and Lemoyne Gardens and
that was one of those soft areas right there.
Right.
I grew up around there, so I already know how soft it was, right?
And from there, I did about 7 years in organized crime unit. Okay. Worked as a canine handler. Was promoted to sergeant. Worked a couple of years in sex crimes, child abuse, which was a very difficult assignment, sure. But it was also one of the most rewarding because it reminded me of why I became a police officer. And I know it sounds cliche to help people, but that really is it. And to be the voice for children that have been abused sexually or physically when they didn't have that voice, and empower them really hit home for me. It was a hard assignment, but very rewarding so that I could make sure that those kids were safe and weren't being abused or neglected anymore.
So you kind of been all over the place, right?
I have. Uniform Patrol, Organized Crime Unit. I even did brief stint out at the training academy over basic recruit training.
Wow.
And
we've been to K9 already. Was out there, and I'm not even tell you about Warwick anymore. And this dog he has, oh God, man. That was a tough day.
Yeah.
That was a tough day.
Yeah. I've been in the suit and I've worn the sleeve, so I know how those dogs are.
I got in the suit. I saw the dog, and I didn't do the sleeve. I was after seeing the dog, it was done.
Right.
They said, Katron, you probably won't make it. I said, no. I've had lamb chops this morning. I don't want to get near these dogs.
Right.
Let me ask you this question. One thing about commanding such a diverse area, the Crump Station, because it's all over the place, really. How many officers are assigned, and what are your boundaries?
So we have about 145 officers assigned to Crump, and that also includes our general investigative unit. Crump Station is very diverse. It is probably the most diverse station. North Main may be a little more diverse. We only have about 35, 36 actual square miles, but we have about 70,000 residents, and if you add the 200 plus thousand that commute back and forth from the suburbs to downtown, that's quite a lot of people that we service. And diversity, Soulsville, Stax, Klondike, Hyde Park, Cooper Young, Central Gardens, French Fort, and we even have President's Island. So we have a lot of diversity in Crump Station, and we cover a wide geographical area.
You're listening to the Best in Blue right here on the KUDZUKIAN Network. 35 to 36 square miles.
Yes.
And it appears that South Memphis to Klondike
You're correct.
That's a lot of area.
That's correct. We have typically what is referred to as historical North Memphis.
Sure.
And then also South Memphis, and then in between we have Midtown, which incorporates Overton Park and the zoo and Levitt Shell. And Central Gardens, Evergreen, Crosstown is also within Crump.
So you stop at Jackson or Chelsea?
We go all the way to Warford.
Wow.
Warford is on our eastern boundary, and we go up to I-40, which is our northern boundary.
Sure.
We go all the way to South Parkway is our southern boundary, and then 55 is the western boundary, but we also incorporate President's Island.
Yeah,
so
you take it in.
Yes, sir.
That in French Fort. Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about the shift, the officers who report to the Crump Station. I'm assuming you have 3 or you have 2. How many shifts do you have over there?
We have 4 shifts. Our first shift, our Bravo shift, from 7 to 3. They are really busy during the daytime, taking a lot of calls.
Do you find it a little bit busier during the day or night at the Crump Station?
Well, I would say our Bravo shift and our Charlie shift, which is our 2 to 10 shift, are probably the busiest. Just different types of calls.
Yeah.
The evening shift seems to get more serious, if I can use that word, calls. Of course, all calls are serious.
Sure, no doubt.
But the Bravo shift gets a lot of accident calls, a lot of traffic-related calls, a lot of directed patrols.
And so you find out on that Charlie shift where you're looking at a lot more maybe domestic issues, so to speak?
Domestic issues, yes, could be, yes.
Is there still a reporting, a duty call? Is there something like that they report to on most shifts?
Absolutely. There's a log sheet that they fill out every day. And then these days, and I know you're going to be talking with, or you already have, with Communications and Real-Time Crime Center, a lot of our cars are now equipped with a dashboard that allows them to log in and see the calls in live time and respond. But we're still old school too, and we have a paper document that the officers will log all the calls for service.
A lot of people, of course, we all look at TV, movies, and so forth, and the old reporting there for duty with the desks and so forth. I mean, I'm assuming that at this point now that we're so technologically advanced that we're probably getting away from a little bit of that, right?
We are. We have made huge technology strides. The officers all have PDAs. When I came on, we were handwriting reports and calling them into a report center that was recorded. The officers now have PDAs and can submit their reports in live time.
And a PDA is it basically a personal data assistant? What it is.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And Crump Station averages about 2,000 calls a month. So
2,000
over 2,000 a month. So we're pretty busy.
Well, I know. I'm not gonna hold you long because I know you got to get back to the station.
I'm not too busy for this.
We'll be right back with Col Dana Sampietro, the commander of the Crump Station Precinct, right here on the Best in Blue in just a moment.
Best in Blue.
Riffin' on jazz.
When two friends get together to kick it,
About jazz, it's called Riffin' on Jazz.
catch us riffing on jazz every week right here on your favorite broadcast or podcast platforms.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
This is Col Dana Sampietro, commander of the Crump Station Precinct, and when I'm not busy keeping Memphis safe, I'm listening to the Best in Blue on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or right here on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
We're back right here on the Best in Blue in the KUDZUKIAN Network. We are fortunate to have Col Dana Sampietro of the Crump Station Precinct in with us today, and we were talking a little bit about our journey on the first segment, but now in this segment we want to talk about some of the mechanics in your precinct, especially the area that you have responsibility for. Let's talk about some of those community partnerships and some of the collaborations. I know you just recently got appointed to the Crump Station. Some of your vision that you see in terms of who you would like to work with. Are you getting enough work out of this? Is there something that the police can do to kind of spur some additional interest in the work that you all do?
We have a fabulous working relationship with the community. As I mentioned before, I feel like I'm a coach. It's teamwork, it's partnership, and the police cannot do without the involvement of the citizens. Neighborhood Watch on the first Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. You can come on out to Crump Station and be a part of our overall Neighborhood Watch meeting, where we can share things that are happening in Crump, review particular crime data and areas of interest. We have numerous Neighborhood Watch groups that we meet with on a regular basis that are constantly at the precinct. They do cop stops for us. Really show their support for the officers, which really goes a long way for motivation.
Let me stop you right. Cop stops. What
Sure.
is that?
So cop stop is something that I encourage any of your listeners to get involved with. It's a good way to meet the officers from your particular station and, more importantly, your ward, your little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just have some dialogue. A lot of times people will invite us to their homes if they have a Neighborhood Watch meeting. There'll be some food. Of course, if there's donuts, the cliche is true.
I didn't want to go there.
Well, I'll go
I didn't
there.
want to go.
So it's a way just to have some fellowship and meet the officers and see them on a more personal basis, because so often we get called and it's during a difficult time for somebody or some of their worst moments or there's in some type of crisis. A cop stop is a way that we can kind of meet one another on even footing and get to know each other a little better and see the human side of both the officer and the citizen. And oftentimes we find that we have so much more in common than what we realize.
I think that's very important what you just said, the human side. You know, we look at the blue suit and I don't know if some of us look at it as a robot or as something that just is there to do this and that's it. They're there just to lock us up or they're there just to write us. And that's not always so.
No. I mean, we're sworn to protect and serve.
Sure.
And that doesn't mean that everybody gets arrested.
That's right.
Sometimes we just need to show up and people need to have us listen and have an empathetic and compassionate ear or give some guidance or point someone in the right direction. It may be someone that's having difficulties with a child. It could be a child that's having difficulties at school and may be acting out. We're not going to take that kid to jail. We want to intervene. We want to be a positive role model for that child, find out what's going on with him or her. And get him or her involved in some activities.
Like PAL, Police Activities League. Yes.
Absolutely, it's a wonderful thing, especially with I think we do a really good job with our boys. I'd like to see more of our girls getting involved in extracurricular activities, especially athletics. Athletics taught me so much more about sports, about how to be a team player, how to lose, how to be disappointed.
It taught you the sandbox rules, did it not?
Absolutely.
The Sandbox Rule. You're listening to the Best in Blue right here on the KUDZUKIAN Network. There are people out there that may say, hey, you got the Crump State. Why can't these officers be on bicycles and God the bird now, or the lime now, or just walking patrols? But it's not that simple anymore, is it?
No. Well, we want to, and most stations do. The bicycles and foot patrols are a wonderful way to get the officers out of the car, because you can't meet your neighbors. You can't engage in good dialogue and communication and build trust with people while you're in a patrol car. You've got to get out and you've got to be engaged with the community. And you can do that with bicycles and on foot patrol. We are building the ranks, as you know. Right. Join MPD, Best in Blue. Please check our website out.
JoinMPD.com.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
So we're starting to see some light. Till we get our ranks completely up, it is hard to do and answer the calls for service in such a large geographical location that the officers have to cover. But we do different events, garden walks. The horses will come up and go through Overton Park. We work Crawfish Festival, Soulsville Stacks Music Festival, different special events, and you'll see absolutely. So then you'll see officers that are on foot or on bicycle, and they're able to dialogue more.
I think it's just a lot of us who are nostalgic, who remember the days back when you did see a guy or lady on foot patrol, and it didn't happen all the time, but you occasionally saw it, you know, and of course those days are a little bit.
We want to bring that back, though, and I think the public wants that back, and I think we'll get there.
One other thing I wanted to bring up is the residents. You've been there now since February. Is there something that you're pushing in terms of an initiative that you want Crump Station, whenever you go to the next level or you leave that station and go somewhere, you want to say, hey, look, I left something here. We built a foundation, a positive foundation on something. There's something that you're trying to do to get through to the residents and also the officers to work a lot more collaboratively together. Right
now we're working with Memphis Rocks down in Soulsville, and if your listeners haven't been, I encourage you to check them out. We've got a group of officers that are working with the students from all over Crump Station, teaching them and training them on how to be climbers and do the rock climbing and the hiking. Wow. But there's an educational component to it as well with literacy. So before they do the rock climbing, we also do some homework, and we do reading exercises and trying to help bring up those reading and literacy scores. And that's in partnership with Memphis Rocks. One of the other things that we've been working on is a way to reach young women and empower them and give them a voice, raise their self-esteem, and let them know that
you matter.
You do matter, and where women are breaking glass ceilings all over.
Look at you.
And I hope to be a role model to those young girls and let them know the sky's the limit, that there's absolutely nothing that they can't do. And we worked with Cummings. They have a group there of teachers that mentor some of the students.
Cummings Elementary School.
Cummings Elementary.
Yes.
And we work pretty closely with them as well. We just did a wheelchair benefit to raise awareness for adults with disabilities at the Skinner Center in Midtown, and our guys participated in wheelchair basketball. And I don't like to lose, but we did lose.
You lost the game of wheelchair basketball.
We did.
So who jumped out of the chair and slammed the ball? Somebody really violated. I told the director this. I said, at some point, our society is going to stop asking the police departments around the country, especially in Memphis, to be more than or something other than an agency that's set out to protect and serve. And I've said to him, it looks like you all have almost become a social service agency.
Well, we are service oriented. Yeah. And, even people that break the law, there's a lot of issues behind that. Sure. I don't know their history or what kind of hard times that they've come on. So, yes, if you break the law, we we do have to arrest you. But there are things that we can do, second chance programs and different service. Some people don't know what the services are that are available to them.
Hold it right there. We're gonna come right back. We're gonna pick back up with some of those things that are in the community, some of the things that the police department is doing every day to keep us safe and secure as they protect and service. We'll be right back here on the Best in Blue with Col Dana Sampietro of the Crump Station Precinct.
Best in Blue.
Hey, I'm Williams Brack, co-host of Grind Set. The insight you gain from us and our guests will motivate you to take the leap into entrepreneurship. So stay with us. What's your grind set? And if you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN.
Hey, I'm Mike Spencer, Administrator of the Emergency Communications Bureau with the Memphis Police Department, and you're listening to the Best in Blue powered by the KUDZUKIAN Network.
We are back with the Best in Blue right here on the KUDZUKIAN Network, visiting with Col Dana Sampietro of the Crump Station Precinct. And we were talking just a moment ago about some of the collaborations and partnerships that you all have formed with not only with the Crump Station Precinct residents, but a lot of the officers have built some rapport with folks in the community. And there was another point you wanted to make about some of the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. One of the things that we are talking about doing in partnership with the Lamont and Owen roads that are colleges inside Crump, along with different grade schools, is you've probably seen the latest one that popped up is the University of Memphis, the mural on the overpass.
Sure. Yes.
So we have one at Crump and East. And what we are kind of talking about doing is eliciting the help of art students and getting some kids involved and highlighting some of the neighborhoods that are in Crump on that mural, bringing it all together under one Memphis. Is one of the things, and collaborating with the schools and with the police officers and with the businesses. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. Going to need some stuff donated, paint.
Did I hear you say Home Depot?
I did say Home Depot.
Lowe's?
Home Depot is very good to us, though. I can tell you, we do have Home Depot in Midtown. They're very good to us. Also, being the new colonel, I want to have people come by the station. Yeah. We're talking about putting on a cupcakes, coffee, and crayons with the colonel.
Oh, wow.
To where
now who will be in charge of the crayons? Now I just want to get that. Let's get that right
So
now.
I think coloring is very soothing, even as an adult. So if you want to come in and use the crayons, you can.
They keep me worked up around here at KUDZUKIAN, so I better come over and try the crayons.
That's right.
The cupcakes and coffee, I've had enough of in my lifetime.
But come on in.
Wow,
we want to know. We want to hear from you. Just come say hello.
Do you encourage that? Do you encourage residents just to stop by, drop in,
stop
say
by?
hey?
And they do. They do a lot of times, and they'll bring. I know the University Cub provided us, and so did Piccadilly this past Thanksgiving with Thanksgiving meal for all the officers on all the shifts, which was amazing. We just have a lady from French Fort that will come in and bring Easter baskets, we have another group of people that will come in and bring Halloween candy. So small things just to motivate and let the citizens, let the officers know their appreciation. And we want to show our appreciation back. Yeah. So I want to hear from you. If there's something that's going on or issues that are in your community, come by 949 E.H. Crump, 636-4600. You can reach me, and I would love to talk to you and partner with you and find out ways that we can make Memphis better.
Yeah. So you got Neighborhood Watch working out of the building. You also got GIB over there, right?
GIB, General Investigative Bureau. They handle all of our burglary investigations, robbery investigations, auto theft investigations, and theft from motor vehicle investigations. And I would be remiss if I did not say, please stow it, don't show it. The summer months are coming up.
And for somebody to see you, for our ladies out there, to see you to put a purse, I call them pocketbooks. Somebody call me, I'm old. I use the term pocketbooks, but to put those in your trunk as you've gotten to your site that you're going to, people are always watching. There's an opportunity crime just waiting to happen sometimes in our city. That's right. People take advantage of, right?
They absolutely do. So I highly recommend that you either carry your purses with you, your packages, or
leave them at home.
Or leave them at home. Same thing with weapons. We're having we have a lot of weapons that are stolen out of vehicles, and that's one weapon that's on the street that could potentially harm a child or an elderly person or just any citizen. So do your part. Be safe, gun owners. We have gun locks also at the precinct. Come by; they're free. Love to give them to you.
Gun locks, wow.
Yes,
free. Right here on the Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network. You heard it first here. You can go by the Crump Station at 949 Crump and get your gun lock. Get that gun lock. It's important. We also during the summer months, sometimes, of course, you've got the children at home. They're out of school. And when you have those weapons and you don't have them secured.
That's right.
Sometimes we find ourselves reporting something on the news of a child being harmed or killed because we didn't take the extra time to secure the weapon.
You're right. Kids are curious.
Sure.
And
my grandmother used to call it rambling. We've all rambled in our life, right? And so, you got a curious child in the house. Do something about it, right, Colonel?
That's right. 100%. It's negligent, in my opinion, if you don't.
Yeah.
Educate them, lock those guns up, come by the precinct, call me. I can send somebody to your house with a gun lock if you have no way to getting to me. Yeah. We want to do everything possible to keep kids safe and keep guns out of the hands of kids.
Summer months are coming up pretty soon. A lot of times the heat gets us a little agitated, not only kids, but adults as well, too. Is there anything particular that's happening in the Crump Station area that we need to make our residents aware of, that anybody around the country aware of?
Well, we're kicking off 901 Fest Thursday at Levitt Shell with Shelby County Schools to highlight various things that are going on in the city and in Shelby County Schools. They're going to have some artists there, and musical artists, sure, and food trucks and things like that. We have a lot of community centers that offer free programs to kids. The downtown has got a wonderful pop-up play park. Soulsville also over in Chandler Park, in our cooperation with the Memphis Grizzlies. We have a park over there as well. Crump Station partnered with the Grizzlies and some of the kids over there for multi-sport games: kickball, volleyball, flag football, basketball. Some of those we won, some we didn't.
You won't say you lost. We just said that we didn't have the prevailing score.
That's right.
That still means you lost.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So, and I believe they even have a chess and a checkerboard over there for individuals that are interested in that.
We really
do.
City for our young people to be involved in, and we encourage our parents. Don't just let them walk out of the house. You don't know where they're going, right? Hey, let me know. Check in with me every once in a while, right? We all got these phones all over the place, right?
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Oh, wow.
That's the most important thing is to know where they are, keep in contact with them, stay involved in their activities, make sure they're doing their homework, and encourage them and motivate them, and let them know you love them.
You got to come back and see us again here on Best in Blue, okay?
Absolutely.
Wow. We have had one heck of a conversation with Col Dana Sampietro of the Crump Station Precinct right here on the Best in Blue. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Best in Blue.
This is Lee Recruiter with the Memphis Police Department, Officer Kevin Moore. Join the Best in Blue. Our requirements are achievable. Our standards are the highest. Our officers are the finest. We are the Best in Blue. Join MPD.com.
Best in Blue.
Did I not tell you? Barn burner. This lady here is tough. Col Dana Sampietro, wonderful job. Let me tell you something. I feel safer already just having her in our presence. You can see the love she has in her heart for what she does every day. Been with the department 26 years, and she's leading the Crump Station Precinct at this time. And God, I think the sky's just the limit for people like her with our Memphis Police Department. The director made a wonderful choice in placing her over there. And I'll say this, we are getting the work done in the Crump Station Precinct. Let me tell you, love it, love it, love it. Reach out, cop stop. Say hello to some of our officers out there. It's okay. You can say hey to them, okay? We'll see you again right here on The Best in Blue on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN Network.